Kunle was a man of quiet routines. At 32, he had built a stable life for himself, a decent job in a financial firm, a modest apartment, and a simple rhythm he hardly deviated from. He wasn't loud or flashy, but his neatness, politeness, and calm aura made him noticeable anywhere he went. Every evening after work, Kunle stopped by Foods and Delights, a bustling restaurant at the corner of a busy street. It was a favorite place for workers returning home, students seeking affordable meals, and even families grabbing a quick dinner. But Kunle wasn't there for the crowd. He came for his plate of jollof rice, grilled chicken, and a chilled drink. Every day, same table, same seat by the window. He would sit quietly, scroll through his phone, eat in peace, tip generously, and leave. It was routine for him, but for someone else, it was far more than that. Behind the counter in the food serving section, Anna had been watching. Anna had worked at Foods and Delight for almost 4 years. She wasn't the loudest among the staff. She was quiet, pretty, efficient, hardworking, and always smiled at customers. Whenever Kunle walked in, her smile was different, softer, warmer, almost dreamy. From the first time she noticed him, something in her heart shifted. Maybe it was his gentle, "Good evening," or "How are you doing today?" every time he approaches the counter, or the way he always thanked her properly after she served him. Or maybe it was just how effortlessly handsome he looked in his neatly ironed shirt, always smelling faintly of cologne. Anna found herself waiting for the clock to tick closer to 6:30 when he usually arrived. She would adjust her apron, smooth her hair, touch up her makeup, and make sure she was the one at the counter. Sometimes she added an extra piece of meat to his portion, which she would later pay for, hoping he would notice. Sometimes she lingered a bit longer than necessary when handing him his tray, just to feel the brush of his fingers. Her co-workers noticed and always teased her. "Your boyfriend is here," one of them whispered one day, nudging her when Kunle walked in. Anna rolled her eyes. "Why would you say that?" "We see the way you look at him. You are so friendly with." "I'm friendly with all the customers I serve," she cut in quickly, her tone sharper than she intended. Her co-workers exchanged knowing glances, smiles tugging at their lips as they returned to their task. Anna's heart thudded uncomfortably. Their words lingered in her mind like an accusation, and the heat that rose to her cheeks betrayed her more than anything she had said. She felt she had given herself away, not by her words, but by the sudden rush of nervous energy she could no longer hide. But in her heart, she had already built a story. She imagined him asking for her number. She pictured him sitting across from her at a restaurant, not as a customer, but as a date. She even dared to dream of marriage. Anna, the wife of the calm, handsome man who always came for jollof rice and chicken. And why not? He never came with anyone. No woman ever accompanied him. He was definitely single. Surely, fate was waiting for the perfect time to push them together. The perfect time never came. Instead, came the day that shattered Anna's quiet dream. It was Friday evening, and Anna looked exceptionally beautiful. She had taken extra care with her appearance. Her dress neatly pressed, her hair styled to perfection, and a touch of fragrance lingering on her skin. All day, she had rehearsed what she would say to Kunle, whether to confess her feelings outright or at least begin a conversation that might draw him closer. But as the clock ticked past 6:30, there was still no sign of him. A knot of panic began to tighten in her chest. Her eyes flickered to the entrance every few minutes, then back to the time on her phone, as if willing the minutes to slow. She tapped her foot nervously, her palms damp. Each time the door opened, her heart leaped, only to sink again when it wasn't him. The longer he delayed, the more her carefully prepared words dissolved into uncertainty. Anna's breath caught in her throat the moment she saw them. Kunle walked in, looking as calm and charming as always. But her eyes were fixed on the woman at his side. The lady's hand rested comfortably on his arm, fingers curling around him as though it was their natural place. Their steps were in sync, their closeness undeniable. Anna froze where she stood, her chest tightening as if all the air had left the room. Just minutes ago, she had been rehearsing her words, dreaming of the moment she would finally speak to him. Now, the scene before her felt like a cruel twist of fate. Her co-workers stole quick glances at her, their eyes wide with curiosity and a hint of pity. Your man is taking no. You no shoot your shot on time. Chai. Sorry, one said almost mockingly. Anna forced herself to look away, but the image was already etched into her mind. Kunle smiling faintly as the young woman leaned closer, her laughter ringing like bells. She forced a smile, even as her hands trembled slightly while dishing their food. Welcome, she said, her voice quieter than usual. Bisola smiled politely back, completely unaware of the storm she had just ignited. From that day, Kunle stopped being a regular. The days when Anna would look forward to his quiet entrance, the way he smiled as though he carried no worries, slowly faded away. And on the rare occasions he did come, he was never alone. Bisola was always with him. Sometimes they laughed over a shared plate. Sometimes they fed each other spoonfuls. To everyone else, it was sweet. She would retreat into the restroom afterwards, her chest tight, her smile brittle, but she hid it well. She had to. Weeks turned into months, and Anna's jealousy grew like an unchecked fire. She studied Bisola in silence, Every time the young woman laughed too loud, Anna clenched her jaw. Every time she saw Kunle pull out a chair for her, Anna's stomach twisted. She told herself it wasn't fair. She had been there first, waiting patiently. She had loved him in silence, and yet someone else had swooped in and stolen her chance. At night, she would lay awake, replaying the scenes of Kunle and Bisola together. Her heart ached, but her mind began to whisper dangerous thoughts. What if Bisola wasn't in the picture? What if something happened that would make Kunle look away instead? She shook the thoughts off. She wasn't evil, she told herself. But jealousy is like a seed. It only takes a little watering to grow. Anna told herself it was time to move on. She stopped daydreaming about Kunle and forced herself to laugh at her co-workers' jokes whenever they teased her. For months, she convinced herself she had buried it all. The flutter in her chest when Kunle smiled. The sting each time Bisola leaned into his arm. She almost believed it. Then one day, they came in again. This time they looked different, radiant, happier. There was something new in the way they moved together. A glow that couldn't be ignored. Anna's heart clenched, and the truth revealed itself when her eyes dropped to Bisola's hand. A ring. Engaged. It felt like a blade twisting into her chest. That night, Anna lay awake, staring at the ceiling. Every memory she had suppressed rising to the surface like smoke choking her lungs. She thought of Kunle's laughter, the way he used to sit alone, the chance she never took. She thought of Bisola, her effortless beauty, her easy smile, her place in Kunle's life. The more she thought, the sharper the pain grew. By dawn, her grief had cuddled into something else entirely. Resolve. If Kunle was to be hers, Bisola had to go. Anna's mind turned dark and calculating as she whispered plans into the silence of her room. She imagined scenarios, plotted outcomes, all while waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Kunle would be hers, one way or another. The perfect opportunity presented itself the day Kunle walked in alone. Anna's heart skipped, then raised. This was it. No Bisola by his side. No bright laughter to overshadow her presence. Just Kunle, her Kunle, standing before her, greeting her kindly as always. He placed his order. Fried rice and chicken, please. Anna froze. Kunle had never ordered that before, and once she asked if she could serve him fried rice. He said he does not eat it. Her mind reeled. Fried rice was what Bisola always ate. A tiny spark of irritation flared in her chest. Still, she forced a smile and half jokingly asked, "You now eat fried rice?" Kunle chuckled lightly, shaking his head. "Oh, it's not for me. It's for my fiancé." Please pack it as takeaway. Anna's smile stiffened. Something inside her cracked, but she held her composure and packed the food. Her hands shook slightly as she sealed the container, the weight of her own plan pressing heavy against her chest. Moments later, Kunle collected the meal and made his way towards his car. Just as he reached the parking lot, an official hurried after him, breathless. Sir, please, could you come back inside for a moment? It's urgent. Confused, Kunle followed. They led him to the manager's office. A few other officials were waiting, their faces grave. Anna was already there, on her knees, trembling, her eyes swollen with fear. Kunle blinked in confusion. What is going on here? The manager gestured towards the monitor. On the CCTV, the truth unfolded in silence. Anna leaning over the takeaway pack, sprinkling something into the food she had just served. The room felt colder as Kunle watched, his heart sinking, his stomach tightening with horror. Anna stammered through her tears. It, it was nothing, I swear. Just a little mistake. One of the officials pushed the pack toward her. If it's nothing, then eat it. Anna's face crumpled. She recoiled, her sobs filling the office. Please, I'm sorry. I didn't mean any harm. Please have mercy. I was jealous. I have always loved Kunle. I couldn't help myself. Kunle staggered back, the words crashing over him. His chest tightened as if the air had been stolen from the room. The woman he had thought was simply a polite attendant, friendly, harmless, was a snake he never saw coming. But he had never given her the slightest hint that he wanted her. He had no words, no expression, only shock. He could barely look at Anna, kneeling and begging. All he could think about was Bisola. How close she had come to death at the hands of someone who saw her as a rival, as an enemy. The police were invited. Anna was taken, still weeping and begging for mercy. While Kunle's story unfolded in one city, another tale was taking shape elsewhere. Bayo was a man admired for his wealth, his charm, and the family image he portrayed to the world. To neighbors and colleagues, he was a devoted husband, a caring father, and a believer. But beneath that polished surface, he led a secret life. His weakness was Lade, a waitress at a bustling roadside eatery. She was lively, attractive, and bold enough to hold his attention. What began as casual flirting had grown into a full-blown affair. Bayo reminded her constantly that he was married, but Lade's heart clung stubbornly to hope. She loved him fiercely, irrationally, and the thought of sharing him with another woman, his wife, gnawed at her. Each time he left her to return home, she felt discarded, as though she were a shadow in his life. Over time, her longing twisted into a dangerous dream. She wished his wife and children were not in the picture. She told herself that if only they were gone, Bayo would have no choice but to make her his wife. The opportunity came one evening when Bayo visited the eatery. He looked cheerful, relaxed, and completely unsuspecting. He asked Lade to pack takeaway for his family, explaining that his wife was sick and had asked him to buy them food on his way. The mention of his wife cut her like a knife. She moved mechanically as she prepared the food. But as she walked, the thought that had haunted her for months crystallized into action. Before sealing the containers, she sprinkled in a harmful substance. Her hands trembled, but her face remained composed. To everyone else, she was simply serving another order. But in her heart, she was rewriting her destiny. That evening, Bayo's home was filled with laughter as his wife and children gathered around the dining table. They unwrapped the food joyfully, but within an hour, joy turned to chaos. His wife doubled over in pain. The children clutched their stomachs, crying out in agony. Panic seized the household. Bayo rushed them to the hospital, his heart pounding with terror. Doctors worked frantically. After intense treatment, the family was stabilized. The findings were crystal clear. They had consumed something harmful. The timing pointed directly to the meal they had eaten. The police were notified. The source of the meal was traced. Investigations led directly back to the eatery and to Lade. Under questioning, the weight of her crime crushed her. Tears streamed down her face as she admitted that her actions were driven by desperation. She confessed that she only wanted Bayo to marry her. But now, in the cold reality of her arrest, she saw the futility of her dream. Her love had never been real. It had been an obsession. Bayo was left devastated. His family survived, but his secret affair was laid bare. His wife left, his image shattered, his double life exposed. Anna loved quietly. Lade loved loudly. One longed for what she never had. The other wanted to replace what already existed. But both let jealousy blind them. They allowed desperation to twist love into something harmful. In the end, neither won. For obsession, when fed, does not build love, it only destroys. Lessons learned from the story. Dreams built on another's downfall never bring joy. They only invite regret. Choices in moments of weakness have lifelong consequences. A single act can shatter lives. Kindness should not be mistaken for romantic intent. Patience does not guarantee possession. Waiting in silence does not mean someone belongs to you. And secret lives unravel eventually. Bayo's affair destroyed the trust he worked so hard to build. If you enjoyed the story, please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. See you on the next story.